Hare Krishna. So we'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuromilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatire Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing our discussion from Srimad Bhagvatam, second canto, chapter 9. So in 8th chapter, Parikshit Maharaj, he asked many questions. He asked 22 questions to Shukadeva Goswami, and the answer to those 22 questions, they form the entire Bhagavatam. So in response to these 22 questions, Shukadeva Goswami, in the end, he said, at least arrange for some food. You have asked so many questions. Arrange kar lo, thoda bhook lagegi. Name asava parayanti. I don't care about food. I am not hungry, thirsty. Because I am drinking the nectar of Hari Katha, Achyuta Katha. So therefore I am not feeling hungry and thirsty. So then Shukadeva Goswami, he starts answering. And he says, your first question regarding the relationship between the spirit and the matter, it doesn't happen actually. It is false question. Because actually the spirit can never connect to matter. It is just like Swapna. Swapna drashtur ivam chasa. It is dream state. And then he asked about the nature of the Lord and the living entity. Is it that the Lord is like... So how is it? Because the cat gives rise to kitten, dog gives to puppy. So Lord gives, Brahmaji appeared from Lord's navel. Brahmaji's body is material and Lord's body is spiritual. How is this possible? So that is how, this question came. So then in response to this question, Brahmaji started, Shukadeva Goswami started a conversation which happened between Brahma and the Supreme Lord. And then the story started, how Brahmaji, when he appeared from the navel of the Lord, he was wondering what he is supposed to do and where he is, how to do the creation. So he moved around and he developed 4 heads, and he then entered the lotus stem, tried to find the root of this lotus. He didn't, come to the end. He came back again. He started wondering, kya karna hai, kya chal raha hai. And then he heard 2 words, tapa, 2 times. 16th and 21st alphabets of the Sparsha letters. And then he understood he's the Supreme Lord's voice. So he started doing tapasya. He did tapasya for how many years? 1,000 celestial years. And by this intense tapasya, Lord was pleased. He appeared in front of him, and Brahmaji, he could see the spiritual abode. So Lord showed him first the spiritual abode. So we discussed the wonderful nature of the spiritual world. and how there is no Raja, Tama and Sattva. It is all mode of Sattva, Shuddha Sattva. It is beyond the three modes. And then he described the residents of Vaikuntha, how they are also beyond the three modes. They look like Supreme Lord, and they are always engaged in serving the Lord. Shyamavadato Shatapatra Lochana Apashangavasa Shurasa Surucha Shupeshasaha. These are the descriptions of the residents of the Vaikuntha. And then he saw the Supreme Lord himself. And we were discussing the beauty of the Supreme Lord. So till 15th we discussed. So we'll continue from the 16th verse. So 15th verse described the glories of the Lord. How he is Shriyapati, Yagyapati, Jagatpati. He is the master of all the opulence, of all the yagyas, all the planets. And he is always worshipped by the associates, Nanda, Sunanda, Pravala, Arahana. Now we'll start 16th verse, 2:9-16. Bhritya prasada abhimukham drigasavam prasanna runalochananam Kiritinam kundalinam chaturbhujam Pitan shukam vakshasi lakshitam shriya.
The personality of Godhead seen leaning favorably towards his living servitors. His very sight, intoxicating and attractive, appeared to be very much satisfied. He had a smiling face decorated with an enchanting reddish hue. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore earrings and a helmet on his head. He had 4 hands and his chest was marked with lines of the goddess of fortune.
Okay. Bhritya prasada abhimukham. So the Lord, he desires to show mercy. Bhritya prasad. Prasad means mercy. So he wants to show mercy to his servants. And how he shows mercy? Drigasavam, by displaying his beautiful form. Asavam is nectar, drik, eyes. So Lord's form is nectar for the eyes of the devotees. And then in the beautiful face, he has beautiful smile. Prasanna hasa. The lotus face has a lotus smile. And aruna lochana. So eyes tinged with red. Aruna lochana ananam. So Aruna means the sun when it rises first time. It is Aruna. Who is Aruna actually? Charioteer of the Lord, of the Suryadev. And then he has Kiritinam, Kundalinam. He wears crown and earrings. Chaturbhujam. He has 4 hands. Wears yellow cloth. And he has Lakshitam Shriya. He has on his chest a golden line. That is Srivatsa. So that is how the Lord's form is Drikasavam. So it is, the form of the Lord is described in many places in Bhagavatam. Kanchi gunulla shashronim hridayam bhoja vishtaram darshanyatamam shantam mano nayanavardhanam. Darshanyatamam. That is the form which is most beautiful, word seen. Darshaniya, darshanyatar, darshanyatamam. And seeing the beauty of the Lord makes one peaceful. When we see the beauty and the glamour of the world, one becomes disturbed and agitated. I want this, I want that. Mind becomes agitated. But when we see the beautiful form of the Lord, Shantam, because Lord is completely peaceful, the devotee becomes pacified, free of all the material desires. Mano Nayana Vardhanam. It increases, it pacifies the mind and pacifies the eyes. So the form of the Lord pacifies the eyes. The descriptions of the Lord pacifies the ears and the mind. Nivritta Tarishay Rupagiyamana Bhavaushadha Shrotra Mano Abhirama. Shrotra and Mana. Ears and the mind, they get pacified by the descriptions of the Lord. And the eyes become pacified by darshan of the Lord. So that's how it is. Tarunam Ramaniyangam. Tarunam. The Lord is beautiful, youthful. Ramaniyangam. All his limbs are very attractive. And it is worth seeing. Arunoshtha Ikshana Adharam. His lips and his eyes, they are reddish. So as you know, we have heard that Krishna, when he entered Dwarka, all the Dwarkavasis, they came running to see the beautiful form of the Lord. Although they were seeing Krishna every day. Nityam nirikshamananam. Roj dekh rahe hain, phir bhi na vitrapyanti. They were not satisfied. Nityam nirikshamananam yadapi dwarakaukasam na vitrapyanti hidrisham shriyo dhamangam achyutam. So that is how the Lord displays his beautiful form just to attract the devotees. Kaviraj Goswami also describes in beautiful verses the beautiful form of the Lord. It says, Muktahara Bakapati Indradhanu Pichatati Pitambara Bijuri Sanchar Krishna Nava Jaladhara Jagata Shashya Upara Barishay Lila Mritadhar. So he says, Muktahar Bakapati. He has a beautiful pearl necklace. It looks like a rows of ducks. Indradhanu Pichatati. And his peacock feather, it is like a rainbow. And Pitambar, it is like a lightning in that cloud. Pitambar Bijuri Sanchar. And Krishna is like the black cloud. Krishna Nava Jaladhara. And what he is doing? Jagata Shashya Upar. All this world, it is like, fledglings, small plants. So Varishay Lila Amritadhar. So he is displaying all these pastimes just to nourish these devotees. So that's how beautiful descriptions are there. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, Uttarakhand Padam Puran is full of descriptions of the Yog Peeth, or the particular place where the Lord is in audience to his eternal devotees. In that Yog Peeth, the personification of religion, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha are all seated at the feet of the Lord. The 4 Vedas are present there personally. The 16 energies headed by Chanda are all present there. So actually, what Prabhupada is doing? So the next verse actually says this. Chatu Shodasha Pancha Shakti. So Prabhupada rukte nahi hai next verse ke liye. ये उसमें ही बता रहे हैं next verse में क्या है. 16 energies headed by Chanda are all present there. Chanda and Kumuda are first 2 doorkeepers. At the middle door are the doorkeepers named Bhadra and Subhadra. The last door are Jai Vijay. So there are other doorkeepers also. Kumuda, Kumudaksha, Pundarika, Vamana, Shankukarna, Sarvanetra, Sumukha. Lord's palace is well decorated and protected. Okay, next verse. So first is 15th verse was Lord's glories, then Lord's beauty, and now the Lord's energies are being described in the 17th verse. Adhyarhaniya sanamastitam param Vrita chatur shodasha pancha shaktibihi Yuktam bhagaisvaitaratra chadhruvaihi Sa eva dhaman brahmanam ishwaram.
The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies like the 4, the 16, the 5, and the 6 natural opulences, along with other insignificant energies of the temporary character. But he was actual Supreme Lord, enjoying his own.
Adhi Arahaniya. So Arahaniya means he is worshipable. Adhi Arahaniya, greatly worshipable. This word has come many times. Something ending with aniya, ikshaniya. That means worth seeing. Any other word like this? Ramaniya, okay. Related to the Lord's glories, pastimes. Shravaniya, worth hearing. Anything else? स्मरणीय, दर्शनीय, वर्णनीय और श्रवणीय और भजनीय, प्रेक्षणीय, स्पृहणीय, सब कुछ भगवान के बारे में. इट इज वर्थ डूइंग इट. सो हियर अर्हणीय, worth worshipping, and adhyarahaniya, greatly worshipable Lord. He was seated, asanam, asthitam, param. He was seated on a praiseworthy throne, and vritam, he was surrounded by 4, 16, and 5 energies. Chatu, Shodasha, Pancha, Shaktibhihi. And Yuktam Bhagaiswai. And he was endowed with natural powers. He was natural. It is natural opulence of the Lord. And also he was surrounded by temporary powers also. Other insignificant energies were also there. Itaratra, adhruvai. And he enjoyed in that spiritual abode. Saeva dhamam ramamanam ishwaram. So that's how the Lord is enjoying. So Prabhupada in the purport, he describes that how he is served by 4 types of opulences, namely Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and ego. So that's what Prabhupada writes there. He is served by the 4. What are these 4? Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and ego. Then served by 16. So what are these 16? All the 16 elements. 5 elements, 5 sense organs, 5 Gyanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, and the mind. And the Pancha, what are these 5? The 5 Tanmatras, they are also there. So all these are serving the Lord. And then there are some Siddhis, Ashta Siddhis, they are also present, they are also serving the Lord. And then Prabhupada in the next paragraph describes that the Supreme Lord by his own potency is unlimitedly powerful than any yogi. Lord never did any tapasya and meditation to become powerful. He is always the Lord. As against some Mayavadis, they say you become Lord. It's like one time Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, he received a pamphlet by some Mayavadi group and they were doing propaganda. So Ravindra Swarup, that time he was the president of Philadelphia Temple. And one pamphlet was moving around. So these Mayavadis, they were saying, Buddha, he meditated and he became enlightened divine. And Jesus, he meditated and he became sacrificed divine. Krishna meditated and he became love divine. You also meditate and you will become the supreme divine. So that's how, they were doing all the propaganda. So Ravindra Swarup said, okay, chalte hain, dekhte hain kya bolte hain log. So he went and he's heard 2 hours lecture they gave. And then Ravindra Swarup, he raised a hand after the class. He said, so when did Krishna meditate when he killed Putana demon? Where was the time? He was only 6 days old. So Mayavadis, when he heard this, he had a very painful expression on his face. He said, words, words, words. You have to go beyond the words. So Ravindra Swarup said, 2 घंटा अभी बोला तुम, उसमें words नहीं था, You are speaking all the words, and when I am saying, then you are saying, go beyond the words. That's how they are expert in word jugglery. Whenever they can't describe something, they say it is anirvachaniya. बता नहीं सकते, इसको शब्दों में तो हम बोल नहीं सकते, अनिर्वचनीय है. So that's how, they just play around. So therefore Prabhupada writes, Supreme Lord is unlimitedly more powerful than any yogi. Trinavar, when Krishna was few months old, 3 months old, 3 months. So Krishna, he became lighter than the lightest, first heavier than the heaviest, and then lighter than the lightest. Bhumau nidhayatam gopi vismita bhara pidita. Yashoda is thinking, abhi to itna halka tha, abhi kaise itna bhari ho gaya bhai. Mahapurusha adadyo jagatam ka asa karmasu. So she put him down and remembered the Supreme Lord. That's how he killed Putana when he was 6 days old. Prabhupada writes, he is unlimitedly richer than any wealthy person. Who can afford 16,108 queens? और सबको ऐसा एक छोटा छोटा रूम नहीं दिया, सबके लिए पैलेस बनाया है. And palace mein bada palace with lot beautiful gardens. So one time, one devotee was telling Prabhupada, whenever we tell all these scientists that Krishna had 16,000 queens and every queen had 10 sons and every son had one teacher. So that means the family of Krishna was itself millions. So they asked where they were staying. Dwarka is a small place. Idhar unke paas jagah hai. So Prabhupada said, of all the things of Bhagavatam, this is the only thing you have to tell. So you have to speak that thing which will inspire them, not confuse them, because they are not on that level to accept all these things. So उनको हम अचिंत्य बोल नहीं सकते हैं, बोलेंगे ये भी अनिर्वचनीय बोल रहे हैं, ये भी अचिंत्य बोल रहे हैं, तो अंतर क्या? What's the difference between अनिर्वचनीय of मायावादीज and हमारा अचिंत्य में? हम भी बोलते हैं अचिंत्य है. So what is the difference? They also say anirvachaniya. Any difference? Kuch antar nahi.
Anirvachaniya means they cannot speak. Why they cannot speak? Because they cannot explain.
Okay. Yes.
And they cannot imagine also. Like achintya means when we try to imagine, but it is beyond our imagination. We know that God can do this.
Yes.
We have a faith in that, but still we cannot express because it is sometimes become beyond imagination, and that's why we cannot able to see.
Yes, correct. So that's the difference. Anirvachaniya means I cannot explain, I don't know. But achintya means Lord is so great, He has so many potencies, and my knowledge is very small, insignificant. They're like Kupamanduka Nyaya, Prabhupada gives example of frog in a well. So He is unlimitedly richer, He is unlimitedly beautiful, unlimitedly charitable. He is above all and nobody is greater than Him. So He is the abode of all beauty. Kaviraj Goswami says, Seita madhurya saranya siddhi nahita tiho madhuryadi gunakhani. So Prabhupada writes, He is the transcendental mind of all the immutable qualities. So madhuryadi gunakhani, He is the mind of all the wonderful qualities. So that's how it is. Okay. So then Prabhupada writes, out of His immense charitable disposition, He can award some temporary powers to the yogis because of the yogis hankering after them. But His unalloyed devotees, He is so pleased that He gives Himself in exchange. Evam sandarshita hi anga harina bhrityavashyata. The Lord comes under the control of His devotees. That's why He says, I have nothing to give, so I'll come myself. That's how it is. Okay, so now after Brahmaji is seeing the beautiful form, the beauty, energy, and he is overwhelmed. So now Brahma's reaction is described in the 18th verse. Taddarshanalad pariplutantaro Rishyatano prema bharashulocanaha Dhanama bujamasya vishwasred Yatparamhamsena prathadhigamyate.
Lord Brahma was seeing the personality of Godhead in His fullness. He was overwhelmed with joy within his heart, and thus in full transcendental love and ecstasy, his eyes filled with tears of love. He thus bowed down before the Lord. That is the way of the highest perfection for the living being, Paramahamsa.
So the Lord Brahma, who is called as Vishwasrik. Vishwasrik means the creator of the universe. So Brahmaji, as he saw this beautiful form of the Lord, tad darshana, when he saw ahlad pariplut antaraha, within his heart he was overwhelmed with joy. And when somebody is very happy, what happens? All the symptoms of ecstasy, they appear. So rishyat tanu, hairs are standing on end. Bhara ashru, prema bhara ashru lochanaha. and his eyes are full of tears of love. So what he did? Nanam Padambujam. He offered respects at the lotus feet. Those lotus feet, they are achieved only by perfected living beings. Yat Paramhamsena Patha Adhigamyate. Those lotus feet, they are followed by the great devotees by the practice of bhakti. Paramhamsya. Where else this word Paramhamsa has come? Any? Tatha Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam. So that's how Paramhamsas can approach the Lord. Srimad Bhagvatam Pramanam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Kiyate. It is Paramahamsa Samhita. It is approached only by Paramhamsas. Prabhupada also writes, Parama Nirmat Saranam Satam. It is approached by those who are free from the malice.
The overwhelm is used many times in different places. What is the meaning of overwhelm here? It's too much this thing. Overjoyed.
हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं overwhelm को? ओत-प्रोत हो जाते हैं. अब इतना इमोशंस आ रहा है कि अभी he is not able to contain himself. Oth-prot, overwhelmed. So Prabhupada writes, Supreme Lord is an established fact in all the scriptures, and Bhagavad Gita, the personal feature of the Lord is specially mentioned, so much so that the last portion of the great literature that has emphatically stressed that one should surrender. But impious people, they do not accept. They do not surrender. So therefore Prabhupada writes that only pure devotees can understand and surrender. Only Paramhamsas, not everyone. So Brahmaji, he could understand because he was a Paramhamsa, he was perfected being, he surrendered himself. Lord Chaitanya, next paragraph Prabhupada writes, Lord Chaitanya also approved of this method of self-realization for men in this age. One should first, with all conviction, believe in Krishna, and without making efforts to realize him by speculative philosophy, one should prefer to hear about him from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. One should hear such discourses from a person Bhagavat and not from a professional man. Yaha Bhagavat pada Vaishnave rasthane ekanta ashraya kar Chaitanya charane. So only a person Bhagavat can teach book Bhagavat, not anyone. That is the secret of learning the science. So person Bhagavat means what? Only perfected means? Only pure devotee?
Those who are trying to follow the pure devotee.
Those who are representing the knowledge in parampara. They may not be perfect, but Prabhupada gives the example of postal peon. He may be a beggar, not beggar. He may be earning very few thousand, but he can give you crores of rupees. So that's how a person is. A pure devotee or a devotee who is presenting the parampara knowledge. That is the path of Paramhamsa. And then Prabhupada quotes this verse. Lord Brahma has personally recommended this Paramhamsa Pantha in his own words. Yane prayasamudapasya namanta eva. So this is a very famous verse. This is the verse where Mahaprabhu said in Ramananda Samvad. This is a very turning point verse. Mahaprabhu and Ramananda, they are conversing and Mahaprabhu says, please tell me the purpose of life. So he starts from where? He starts from Varnashram. Varnashram acharavata purushena parahpuman Vishnu aradyate pantha nanyat tattosha. So Mahaprabhu says, Eho bahya, it is external. Please tell something more. Then he goes on explaining, then he tells Sarvadharman Parityajya also, he says Eho bahya also, isko bhi Eho bahya. And then when it comes to this verse, then he accepts Eho hai. Still please speak more. That's how it is. This is the beginning of transcendental, surrendered life. Okay, so now after this, Brahmaji offered obeisances And then Lord starts speaking to Brahmaji. Tam priyamanam samupasthitam kavim praja visarge nija shasanarhanam babhasha ishat smita shochi shagira priya priyam pritamana kare sprishan.
And seeing Brahma present before him, the Lord accepted him as worthy to create living beings, to be controlled as he desired, and thus being much satisfied with him, the Lord shook hands with Brahma and slightly smiling addressed him thus.
Prabhupada writes, Prabhupada writes, Lord shook hands with Brahmaji. So wonderful. So it is, so Prabhupada now. So Lord is now very pleased by the surrendered behavior of Brahmaji, by his intense tapasya. Tam priyamanam. So that Brahmaji is worthy of being dear. Priyamanam. So the Lord, he became overjoyed. Priyam Pritamanaha. The last line is Priyam Pritamanaha. So he became overjoyed, filled with prema for Brahmaji. And then he touched Brahma, kare sprishan. So Prabhupada writes, he shook hands with Brahmaji. Samupasthitam kavim. So Brahmaji was standing right in front. So the Lord touched his hand, touched Brahma with his hand. So how he did it? So Prabhupada writes, shook hands, and Chakravarti Thakur writes, he just touched him out of love. I don't know, kaise bhi jo bhi touch kiye hain, jo bhi but kiye to hain. So maybe in a very affectionate way, because Brahma also tells that you have addressed me like a friend. So must be some, some light gesture. So some kare expression. And then he Ishat Smita Rochi Sochi Shagira. And he started speaking with a gentle smile on his face. And Brahmaji, he was also very happy. Because the Lord is speaking, abhi Bhagwan bol rahe hain, to abhi kaun khush nahi hoga? Tam priyamanam. So when his dearmost Lord started speaking, Brahma became very, very happy. Nij shashana praja visarge nij shashan arhanam. So Brahmaji, he was Nij Shashan Arhanam. He was worthy of following the Lord's command. Nij Shashan Arhana. So Arhana means he was suitable. So Brahmaji was suitable for carrying out the Shashan, the words of the Lord. What is that word? Praja Visarge. Praja Visarge means the creation of the universe. So that's how the Lord, he has appeared in front of Brahmaji, displayed his beautiful form. So the purpose of the Lord's appearing in this world is what? As the first chapter, first canto tells, to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. So the Lord, he gives 5 things to reclaim fallen conditioned souls. So first, he gives the facility for enjoyment, because that's why they have come for. So he gives that also. Second, he gives distress when frustrated. Distress bhi dete hain. And third, abhi distressed ho gaye to abhi kya karenge? Send scriptures. And then that is not sufficient. Then he sends devotees. And then he comes himself. So that's how the Lord helps devotees, every living entity in each and every way. So Prabhupada writes, the creation of the world is not blind or accidental. Living entities who are Nitya Baddha are given a chance of liberation. So Lord instructs Brahmaji in Vedic knowledge in order to diffuse this knowledge to conditioned souls, because the conditioned souls, they have forgotten their relationship with the Lord. So Brahma also does his duty very perfectly, not only by generating the living entities, but also by spreading his party for reclaiming the fallen souls. So Brahmaji has made wonderful body which is only for giving distress. Shutritra dhatu birima muhuradyamana shita ushna vata varasha itaretaracha Kamagrina achyutarusha cha sudurbharena sampashyato manarukramasiddhate me. So Brahma ji is lamenting, अरे क्या शरीर बना है, देखो बेचारे कितना दुखी है, अंदर से प्रॉब्लम, बाहर से प्रॉब्लम, inside शुद्ध hunger, thirst, कफ वात पित्त always disturb, बाहर से शीत उष्ण वात वर्षा, that is not sufficient. Subtle body is always giving problem. काम अग्नि है, it is like Achyuta, it is burning, and when it is not fulfilled, anger. Achyutrusha, indefatigable anger. So that's how Brahmaji is doing his service very nicely to frustrate every living entity. ऐसा शरीर बनाए हैं दुनिया बनाने वाले, इसीलिए बनाए to frustrate the desires of each and every living entity. So therefore Prabhupada writes that therefore Brahma is so very dear because he is doing the role so very nicely. Lord wants everyone to come back, and Brahmaji is giving such a wonderful place so that everybody is suffering and he is real. Everybody thinks nahi bhai nikalna hai. That's why Brahmaji is most dear. And also he gives knowledge by Brahma Sampradaya. Anyone preaching the mission of the Lord in the line of Brahma Sampradaya is always dear. Prabhupada writes. And the Lord, being satisfied with such a preacher, shakes hand with him in great satisfaction. So that's how Prabhupada is very, pakka ekdam haath hi milaye hain. So that's how it is he's saying. Great. So now Prabhupada is, now Supreme Lord, he continues, he is speaking. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha,
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha,
Tvayaham Toshita Samyak,
Tvayaham Toshita Samyak,
Vedagarbha
Vedagarbha Tirakshaya,
Tapasa,
Shiram
Dosha
Tapasa,
Yogina.
Dosha Kuta Yaginam.
The beautiful personality of Godhead addressed Lord Brahma. O Brahma, impregnated with the Vedas, I am very much pleased with your long accumulated penance with the desire for creation. Hardly am I pleased with the pseudo-mystic.
O Brahma, so Lord is calling Brahma as what? Vedagarbha. So Vedagarbha क्यों बोल रहे हैं? अरे वेद तो Supreme Lord, when he breathes, the Vedas come out from the mouth of Brahma, from the breath of the Supreme Lord. But because Brahma then becomes the carrier of that knowledge, so already Krishna has given, Lord has given him that title. You are Vedagarbha. अभी हुए नहीं है फिर भी Vedagarbha है. That's how, as soon as a living entity shows his desire to serve the Lord, to surrender to the Lord, Lord gives him everything. It comes in, Rukmini Devi's kidnapping also. So when Rukmini Devi is kidnapped by Krishna and all the soldiers of Rukmi and Shishupal, Jarasandha, everybody is following Krishna. The chariot of Krishna is surrounded by all these armies. So Rukmini Devi, she becomes really fearful. Abhi kya hoga? How will the Lord handle all these? So Rukmini Devi, so seeing the face of Rukmini Devi, Krishna understands that, she is really concerned and she's in fear. So Lord says, "Oh Rukmini Devi, please don't fear. Your army will very soon vanquish all these enemies." अभी तक विवाह भी नहीं हुआ है और बोल रहे हैं your army, So that's how the Lord is so very eager to give his everything to his devotee as soon as they make a determination to surrender. Your army. So and the acharyas, they give big purports on this your army. Sanskrit का word मैं भूल गया. इसमें तावकै balam, ऐसा कुछ बोलते हैं. तावकै balam. This is your army. So that's how here he's saying Vedagarbha Tvayaham Hitoshita Samyak. Samyak means I am completely satisfied. Why? Chiram bhritena tapasa, by the long penance. कितना तपस्या किया है ना? In our understanding, how many years? One celestial year is 360 years. Hour. So that means 360 into 1000. तो ब्रह्मा जी का लाइफ कितना है? 311 trillion 40 billion years. उसमें ये 3,60,000 क्या है? Still Lord is saying चिरम भृतेन तथा, बहुत बड़ी तपस्या की आपने. Why Lord is saying you have did a long penance? Although it is not such a long penance, it was a small thing only. Because Lord knew the intent of Brahmaji. He knew that Brahma is going, he is ready to do the tapasya for a long time also. So Lord is pleased by the intentions. He understood the unpretentious tapasya. So therefore he is very pleased. Chiram bhritena dushtoshaha puta yogina. The Lord is not pleased by false tapasya. Or if somebody is doing tapasya for the wrong reasons. Any examples of people who did tapasya for wrong reasons? Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, or एक वृकासुर था. So he ran after Shivji only. Shivji appeared with Parvati and he gave benediction. तो इसको लगा अब ये पार्वती अच्छी लग रही है, पहले शिवजी को खत्म करते हैं. That's how sinful they are. So the intentions are more important. So Prabhupada writes, there are two kinds of penance. One for sense gratification and other for self-realization. Those who are mystic yogis, pseudo-yogis, they undergo tapasya for their own satisfaction. But the devotee, they do tapasya for the satisfaction of the Lord. So intention is more important. Why one is doing tapasya? So in Bhagavad Gita also, tapasya in three modes, austerity in three modes it comes. So what is austerity in the mode of ignorance? What is called austerity in the mode of ignorance? If somebody is doing tapasya to harm others, that tapasya tortures the body and that tortures the Lord who is there in the body also. So Lord is also not so pleased when somebody does tapasya for, giving trouble to others. Mam chaivanta sharirastham tanvidyasura nishchaya. Krishna is saying, somebody is doing tapasya, so he is troubling his body and he is troubling me also. That's this. Then Prabhupada writes, the ultimate purpose of the Vedic knowledge is to know the Lord and not to misuse the knowledge for any other purpose. Varam varaya bhadram te varaya varesham mabhivanchitam brahman shreya parishrama pumso maddarshanavadhihi.
I wish you good luck, O Brahma, you may ask from me, the giver of all benedictions, all that you may desire. You may know that ultimate benediction as the result of all tendencies is to see me by the like this.
O Brahman, that is Brahman Shreya, O Brahma ji, Bhadram te, all auspiciousness to you. Varaya, please ask. Abhivanchitam varam, whatever desire, whatever benedictions you want, please ask from me, Mom. Varesham, why? Because I am Varadaraj. I am the giver of the benedictions. I like to give benedictions also. And Prahlad is not asking Narsimdev. Narsimdev is begging, Pare kuch to mang le. I like to give benedictions. I like to give blessings when I appear. Please ask something. So that's how he is. Varesham. Pumso Shreya Parishramaha. Then he says that, you ask any benediction, but what is the highest benediction? I have already given you a highest benediction. What is the highest benediction? Mad Darshanadhi. But I have given you my darshan, that is the highest benediction. उसके अलावा जो और कुछ चाहिए तो मांग लो, Tell me if anything you want. Because I have given you the highest thing already without even asking. Chakravarti Thakur writes that Lord is telling, ask for your desired object. Endeavors for gaining results from the best processes, such as hearing and chanting, culminates in seeing me. That is the best benediction. And my devotees, they do not accept any result other than seeing me. The best thing which a devotee can get is and satisfies him is smile of the Lord. Where we have heard the devotee itna sara prarthana kiya, Lord just smile. When Kunti Maharani offered इतना सारा प्रार्थना किए तो क्या भगवान क्या किए? Smiled, बस कुछ भी बोले नहीं. Smiled and went. And when all the Dwarkavasis, they offered their prayers, again the Lord smiled and went. That smile is sufficient to satisfy everyone. So Bhritya Prasada Bhimukham Sashwat. Just to satisfy the devotees, the Lord manifests his beautiful smile. And that is sufficient for a devotee. All the Prabhupada disciples, they also say, whatever we would do only for one thing, to get smile on Prabhupada's face. Prabhupada smile kiye, but success ho gaya. Very bold. Nothing else is required. For that, they would do anything. हम लोग सोच भी नहीं सकते अब क्या किए हैं Prabhupada disciples. Shyam Sundar Prabhu, he would tell that, you all people, you don't take risks. हमने क्या risk लिया है, He was telling once that when they took, that flat, 26 2nd Avenue, they didn't know the next month ka salary, wo rent kahan se aayega. So he says, one time I was just walking and the dollars bill started flying from somewhere. ऊपर से गिर रहा है, किधर से गिर रहा है मालूम नहीं. So he said, we were taking so much risk just to get smile on Prabhupada's face. So some people, they control people by their power. Some control by their love. So Prabhupada controlled everyone by his love. And they were ready to do anything. We know the story. Yamuna Mataji and few devotees, they were in train. And Prabhupada said, I want hot rice. Which chalti train mein India mein kidhar hot rice? So they go to the kitchen pantry over 1970s ka train. Usme pantry mein kya rahega? And they say, we want to cook hot rice for our guru. ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है, जाओ. So they said, if you are not giving us, then we'll jump. We'll jump from the train. वो डर गया, बोला जो करना है करो भाई बनाओ. And then they cleaned everything and they cooked and then they brought in front of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, as he saw them, he said, here comes the angels, my angels. And he was smiling. That is sufficient. So that is how the Lord satisfies the devotees by his smile. Tad darshana avadhi. Devotee doesn't need anything. So that is the ultimate realization, Prabhupada writes. Ultimate realization is knowing and seeing face to face the Supreme Lord. And after seeing, kya karna hai? The next stage is to discharge devotional service. So it all starts with realizing the Supreme Lord's. When one realizes the Supreme Lord, one does not struggle hard to perform penances for his own satisfaction. He works to satisfy the Supreme Lord. The Lord continues. Manishita-anubhavoyam mamaloka-valokanam yadupashrutya rahasi chakartha paramam tapaha.
The highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abodes. And this has been possible because of your submissive attitude in the performance of severe penance according to my order.
So seeing my planet, you have seen my planet also. Mama Loka Valokanam. So you have seen my planet also. And seeing my planet, Manishita Anubhava. It reveals all the knowledge. Everything is revealed. The personal highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abode. Mama loka avalokam is the highest perfection. And yad upashrutya, and by my mercy you have previously heard my instruction. मैंने ही बोला ना वो तप तप कौन बोला? I only spoke that. Rahasi, when you are alone, now Lord is telling, revealing. वो जो आपने तप सुना ना, मैंने ही बोला है, So that's how the Lord is now confirming that you believe those words, they were my words. Yad upashrutya rahasi chakartha paramam tapa, you performed such great austerity. So that was my order. So Prabhupada writes, the highest perfectional stage of the life is to know the Lord by actual perception, by the grace of the Lord. Only by the mercy of the Lord one can see the Lord. Athapite deva padambujadvaya prasadalesha nugrihita evahi. So only by the mercy of the Lord one can know the Lord. So Lord, he saw the willingness of Brahmaji to do tapasya, and therefore he awarded the results very soon. And he is now confirming, yes, you heard and you believed my words, they were my words. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that one should follow the discharge devotional service in parampara. So the line of acharyas are described: Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva, Chaitanya, Vishwanath, Baldev, Siddhanta, Saraswati, and others. In Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead, Krishna, asks that one always be mindful of him. Manmanabha madbhakto, Prabhupada is paraphrasing here. So these are the secrets of attaining the highest perfectional stage. Brahma exactly followed these principles without any superiority complex. He didn't think that मैंने सुना है और किसी ने सुना क्या? Nobody heard. I was the first person and Lord spoke to me. He had no superiority complex. It comes in the third canto also. When Lord appeared in front of Brahma, Brahma asked for 3 benedictions. First, please empower me so that I can do this service. Second, protect me from deviation. And third, please protect me from pride. So these are the 3 things which are very, very crucial. Empowerment, protection from deviation, and we should not be proud, protection from the pride. The word Manishita is significant. Everyone is falsely or factually proud of his so-called learning. But the Lord says that the highest devotional stage, perfectional stage, is to know him. So falsely proud means कुछ है भी नहीं फिर भी pride है. Or factually proud means you have something and you are proud of it. That is the difference between dambha and darpa. Dambho, darpo, abhimanascha. So dambha means you have something and you are proud of it. Darpa means कुछ भी नहीं है फिर भी pride है. So that is how it is. Okay, then he continues. Pratyadishtam maya tatra tvai karma vimohite
Vaitana vimohite
hridayam sakshat
tapo me hridayam
atma
sakshat
tapasonaka.
atmaham
tapasonaka.
O sinless Brahma, you may know from me that it was I who first ordered you to undergo penance when you were perplexed in your duty. Such penance is my heart and soul, and therefore penance and I are non-different. Hare Krishna.
Pratyadishtam maya tatra. Those words were spoken by me. It was I who ordered you to do that penance. When? Tvai karma vimohite. When you are completely perplexed in your duty. Kya karna hai? And then you started doing tapasya. O sinless Brahma, O Anagha, Tapo me hridayam saksha. This austerity for attaining me is my heart and soul. This penance is my heart and soul. And Atma aham tapaso anhaga. So therefore, penance and I are non-different, he's saying. I am the soul of that austerity. So that's how Lord is emphasizing so much on austerity. I am austerity. In Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami writes, what is the austerity? One of the limbs, 64 limbs is Krishnarthe Akhila Bhoga Tyag. Giving up everything for the sake of the Lord. That means giving up those things which are dear to you. Not that abhi ye car purana ho gaya hai. डोनेशन दे देंगे, नया खरीदेंगे, अखिल त्याग, सब त्याग दिए. Not that thing which is dear to you, give up that thing. Krishna Arthe. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that I only spoke instructions to you when? In the beginning. Tatra. So when you are confused, I spoke. So in the purport, Prabhupada focuses on tapasya, tapo divyam, tapasa brahmacharyena, all those words Prabhupada is elaborating. Such penance is the internal potency of the Lord and is non-different from Him. So there are various types of penance. In Kali Yuga, bodily penance may not be so conducive, but penance of the speech, of the mind, of the ego, they are more difficult to do. Many times people may fast, but they may feast their false ego. Koi bhi nirjal nahi kiya, maine kiya malum. I did पूरा निर्जल. ये लोग तो 10 बार पानी पिए, नींबू पानी पिए और क्या क्या खाए हैं. मैं तो निर्जल फास्टिंग कर रहा हूं. So Krishna is not pleased by that. We are feasting false ego. उसमें भी अहंकार है. मैं निर्जल किया हूं. So that is more dangerous. Better eat and be humble. That is better. Otherwise, we know the story. One time one Brahmana, he was very regular and very strict in his sandhya, pre-sandhya. So one time, it was sandhya time and he somehow dozed off. So one person came and he woke him up. Sandhya ka time ho gaya, kya kar raha hai tu? So he said, thank you. So he got up, he took bath, he did his sandhya and then he asked, who are you? So he said, I am Kali. Kali personified and you are telling me to do my sandhya? He said, yes. If you would not have done, you would have become humble and you would have advanced more. Now you have this pride. No, मैं तो इतना संध्या time पे करता हूँ मालूम है. Nobody is as punctual as I am. That's how Maya Devi is so very subtle, cunning. She knows us more than we know ourselves. That's how shrewd she is.
So from thinking like that, if we start not following any austerity, it's important. I understand. I have heard just sometimes we take this as an excuse and
the whole question is intention. If I am thinking, मैं इतना बड़ा devotee हूँ मालूम है, एक भी संध्या मिस नहीं किया मैंने. If we are proud and seeing others as fallen people, that is not right. Of course, we have to stick to our principles, stick to our devotion. नहीं तो बोलेंगे प्रभु जी ना, कल लेक्चर में सुना है वो अपराइट नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए मैंने एक माला छोड़ दिया कल, ताकि मैं humble रहूं. No, not like that. But we have to be, because Krishna sees the intentions. क्यों कर रहा है भाई? Why are you doing so much of hard work? इतना सेवा क्यों कर रहे हैं? लोग बोलेंगे प्रभु जी इतना सेवा करते हैं मालूम है, प्रसाद भी नहीं लेते हैं. That satisfies the person more than eating. His false ego is getting satisfied. कितना आनंद मिलता है मालूम है? पता नहीं, मेरे को तो मालूम है. So that's how it is. So Krishna sees the intentions. So why are you doing it? Why a devotee is doing some devotional activity? To get pride, you will get ample of pride, ample of fame. ISKCON is like Kalpataru. चिंतामणि है, जो चाहिए सब मिलेगा यहाँ पे. You'll get best of Maya also and best of Krishna also. सब मिलेगा यहाँ पे. But it depends on what are you seeking, what are you looking for. क्या सैलरी चाहिए? सैलरी यहाँ पे अलग अलग करेंसी में मिलता है. But what is the real currency we are getting in ISKCON is not connection with big people, and a big following and knowing all the scriptures by heart. वो नहीं है यहाँ पे करेंसी. These are all externals. वो बाह्य. एकांत लाभम वचसोनुपुंसाम शुश्लोक मौले गुणवादमाहु श्रुतेश्च विद्वद्भिरुपाकृतायाम कथा सुधायाम उपसंप्रयोगम. एकांत लाभ, एक ही लाभ है इधर. शुश्लोक मौले गुणवादमाहु, भगवान का नाम, गुण, रूप, लीला. That is the only thing we'll get here in ISKCON. That is the only currency. इसके अलावा जो भी है, it is external. So we have to be really careful. Otherwise, it is so very easy to get swayed away. सब लोग बोलेंगे प्रभु जी इतने अच्छे डिवोटी हैं, बड़े डिवोटी हैं, हमको भी लग रहा है अच्छा, चलो भाई अच्छा ही चल रहा है. सब लोग बोल रहे हैं बड़े डिवोटी हैं, अच्छे डिवोटी हैं, मतलब अच्छे ही होंगे. That's so, Maya Devi is so subtle. मतलब हमको पता भी नहीं चलेगा. 10, 15, 20 साल निकल गया, उधर ही सब लोग आगे जाते जा रहे हैं. मेरे को तो बोल रहे थे इतने बड़े डिवोटी हैं, लेकिन मेरे को तो कृष्ण प्रेम तो दूर की बात है. चैंटिंग में भी रुचि नहीं आया है, भागवत में भी रुचि नहीं आया. क्या चल रहा है? सब लोग तो वाह वाह करते जा रहे हैं. That's why we have to be really careful. What are we here for? नहीं तो इंस्टीट्यूशनल सक्सेस तो हो जाएगा, पर्सनल सक्सेस नहीं हो पाएगा. आप लोग ज्यादा जानते हैं, मैं तो थोड़ा कुछ ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ. आप लोग ज्यादा बता सकते हैं. You all have spent so many years, इतना सेवा भी कर रहे हैं, इतने सालों से हैं. आप लोग ही बताइए. How to make a balance between pride, personal and institutional success.
What is that is true in ISKCON, like everything is available.
Of course, अभी वो तो सब कुछ है यहाँ पे. क्या नहीं है, मतलब बेस्ट ऑफ माया अवेलेबल है यहाँ. कुछ अवेलेबल है. क्या चाहिए आपको? धनम जनम सुंदरी सब है इधर. कुछ है इधर. क्या चाहिए आपको? What do you want? कृष्णा दे देते हैं. कृष्ण यदे छूटे भक्ते भुक्ति मुक्ति दिया, कबू कृष्ण प्रेम ना देन राखे न लुकाइया. तो आप देंगे भाई, क्या चाहिए तेरे को उसको, इसके लिए आए. So you have to be careful. इंस्टीट्यूशनल सक्सेस तो हो जाएगा, बट पर्सनल सक्सेस नहीं हो पाएगा. So that's how we have to be really keep on asking other devotees, और ऐसे हम लोग जानते हैं, इसको नहीं पूछूंगा, ये डिवोटी को पूछेंगे ना, इतना फीडबैक देते हैं ना. ये वाले अच्छे हैं, हमेशा अच्छा ही बोलते हैं मुझे. इनसे पूछते हैं प्रभु जी मेरा कैसे चल रहा है भक्ति? बोले एकदम फर्स्ट क्लास. तो वो अहोरूपम अहोध्वनि वाली बात हो जाती है. फिर सुना है ना वो अहोरूपम अहोध्वनि वाला. उष्ट्रस्य विवाहेषु गर्दभस्य गायनम परस्परम प्रशंसन्ति अहोरूपम अहोध्वनि. ऊंट के विवाह में गधा गया, उधर गा रहा है, तो बोल रहा है हो रूपम कितने सुंदर हैं आप, और ऊंट बोल रहा है हो ध्वनि कितना अच्छा गा रहे हैं आप. उसको वही सुनना था, वो सुन रहा है वो. सो वी हैव टू फाइंड पीपल हु आर जेन्युइन एंड हु वी ट्रस्ट, कि भाई ये मेरे को अच्छा ही बताएंगे. वो बहुत पेनफुल रहता है फॉर फॉल्स ईगो टू एक्सेप्ट कि मैं तो प्रभु जी इतना सेवा कर रहा हूँ, मालूम है, इतना चैंटिंग कर रहा हूँ, इतना सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ मैं, और मुझे आप ऐसा बोल रहे हैं तेरे को अहंकार हो गया. सो इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू हैंडल. One time Radha Gopinath Prabhu was saying, Shamanand Prabhu was telling that one time he was giving a brahmachari class, तो उसमें बोल रहे थे कि one time Radha Gopinath Prabhu he wrote me a letter. Radha Gopinath Prabhu and Shamanand Prabhu they are best friends. मतलब जानते हैं ना Shamanand Prabhu, राधा गोपीनाथ जानते हैं, तब हमारे मंदिर के सबसे सीनियर मोस्ट वही हैं. तो राधा गोपीनाथ प्रभु एक दिन उनको लेटर लिखे कि प्रभु, कभी तो देख लिए होंगे श्यामानंद प्रभु जपा करते करते थोड़ा ही डोज्ड ऑफ समटाइम. So he said, Prabhu, when you sleep, all the other devotees, what are they thinking? इतने बड़े डिवोटी ऐसा सोएंगे तो हमारा क्या हो पाए? That's how. So Shamanam through he said, I didn't think, मैं यार 30 साल 35 साल से डिवोटी हूँ और ये मेरे को ऐसा बोल रहे हैं. He said, that is an opulence. कोई तो है जो बोल सकता है उनको, नहीं तो कुछ लोग ऐसे रहते हो, इनको कौन बोलेगा? रहते हैं ना कुछ लोग, इनको कौन बोलेगा? इनको कोई भी नहीं बोल सकता है कुछ. They have created wall around them. इससे अंदर कोई भी नहीं आ सकता है, मेरा फॉल्सिको को कोई टच नहीं कर सकता है. That is a very dangerous situation. Wherever you are, at whatever level you are, there should be someone, at least one person who can tell Prabhu, hold on, क्या चल रहा है? क्या कर रहे हैं? That's how big people have fallen in ISKCON, because they have nobody to tell, or they didn't accept any advice. तो भरत महाराज का भी ऐसे ही हो गया, उनको कोई भी नहीं था बोलने के लिए, भरत प्रभु क्या कर रहे हो? ये हिरण को छोड़ो, यज्ञ करो, चैंटिंग करो. That's how it is. So we have to be careful. Our behavior should allow others to give feedbacks. नहीं तो हमारा बिहेवियर देख के लोग बोलेंगे इनको कौन बोलेगा, ये तो किसी का सुनते ही नहीं है, कुछ बोला तो 1000 हमको ही सुना देते हैं. छोड़ो ना, हम अपना भक्ति करते हैं, ये जाने और भगवान जाने. That is a very dangerous situation. नहीं तो फिर आप बोलेंगे अरे कोई नहीं मेरे को फीडबैक दे रहा है, देखो मैं इतनी अच्छी सेवा कर रहा हूँ, कोई बोला ही नहीं मेरे को. और then when the problem start, then यार तो बोलना चाहिए था ना मेरे को, कोई बोला नहीं, मैं गिर रहा था, कोई भी नहीं बोला कि मैं, अरे प्रभु जी देखिए आप, बस कोई है ही नहीं, आप बोलने के लिए मौका ही नहीं दी किसी को. बाद में बोलेंगे हम गिर रहे थे और आप देखते जा रहे थे, ये गिर रहा है, अभी गिर गया. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So that's how it is.
But usually devotees, they usually encourage, they don't point.
Sorry?
Usually devotees encourage, they don't point out mistakes.
नहीं, एनकरेज मतलब है गलती करेंगे तो एनकरेज करेंगे तो गड़बड़ है कुछ ना. मतलब देयर इज अ वे टू गिव फीडबैक. फीडबैक शुड बी कंस्ट्रक्टिव, नॉट डिस्ट्रक्टिव. ऐसा फीडबैक देंगे, अब भी तो मैं ऐसा ही करूंगा. अगर ऐसा फीडबैक देंगे, मतलब पब्लिक में फीडबैक देंगे तो उसको भी लगेगा बोलना था तो अकेले में बोलते. यू शुड अप्रिशिएट पब्लिकली एंड गिव फीडबैक प्राइवेटली. कभी कभी उल्टा करते हैं हम लोग, पब्लिक में गाली देते हैं और अकेले में अच्छा कर रहे हैं. तो ऐसा तो कौन सा मैकेनिज्म?
Yes, some mechanism.
In our house, I don't know. Like,
Exactly. I don't know. The feedback का कुछ system है, we are not aware of.
आप लोग कोई सब अच्छा सेवा कर रहे हो तो क्यों फीडबैक देगा कोई?
There are so many lacunae, so many mistakes, but we don't do any system of feedback, getting feedback. See, what we do is, like, we have any personal issues, मतलब I'm facing the problem, I go to my counselor.
ना बस, that is the right way.
But अभी उनको मिलके भी मतलब बहुत टाइम हो गया अभी. That opportunity is also not there.
The more we grow up in the ladder, the more we become alone many times, because हमारे साथ वाला कोई है ही नहीं अभी. ये तो 15-20 साल 30 साल बिता लिए हैं भक्ति में, और बाकी लोग तो 5-10 साल वाले ही हैं. तो सब बड़े लोग हैं. एटलीस्ट कोई तो होना चाहिए जिनके साथ हम जाके बोल सकें कि प्रभु जी ऐसा ऐसा है मेरा, कि am I okay. At least one friend we should have in devotional service. One good friend जिसके साथ हम पूरा सब कुछ बता सकते हैं. That's how devotees have survived in long run. Otherwise it is very difficult.
Request है ना, we should have somebody to ask this thing.
वो फॉर्मली नहीं हो पता है, मतलब फ्रेंड मतलब वो इट इज
Friendly.
हाँ, फीडबैक सिस्टम होना चाहिए.
Yeah,
That is there. मतलब most of the time devotees they just don't give feedback immediately. छोटी छोटी चीजों के लिए फीडबैक नहीं देता है कोई. लेकिन if something is troubling devotee community or some actions are troubling devotees in the long run, and many devotees are getting affected, so then they give feedback. मतलब कोई feedback आ रहा है, मतलब सच में हमको seriously लेना चाहिए, क्योंकि बहुत सालों के बाद देखने के बाद ये feedback दे रहे होंगे. Immediately कोई feedback नहीं देता. We have now become a evolved community. ऐसा शुरू के नहीं कि एक गलती किया तो feedback उधर ही. At least I have seen, now we have grown up, we have spent so many years, so we have become mature, so we don't give so feedback so easily, so casually. So devote feedback आ रहा है, मतलब कोई बोल रहा है तो we should take it seriously. So that's how we go ahead. कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गए हम लोग. तपस्या करते करते हमारा अलग ही चला गया लाइन. तपो दिव्यम. Okay. So Prabhupada writes, such acts of internal potency are exhibited by non-attachment for material enjoyment. So the more we are attached to Krishna, the more we are detached from the material world. The living entities are engaged in conditions of material bondage because of their propensity for overlordship. But by engagement in devotional service, one becomes detached. Bhakti Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairagya. One cannot enjoy material illusory prosperity if he desires to return back home. Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam Samadhav na vidhiyate. One who has no information of the transcendental bliss in association of the Lord foolishly desires to enjoy this temporary happiness. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, if someone sincerely wants to see the Lord, at the same time wants to enjoy this material world, he is considered to be a fool only. कौन सा श्लोक बोल रहे हैं? One who wants to remain in the material world for enjoyment has no business entering into the eternal kingdom of God. If someone wants to sincerely see the Lord, at the same time wants to enjoy this material world, he is fool only. Okay, anyways.
You mentioned that sincerely, somebody is sincere, and also simultaneously.
Yes, because he is pushed by his material conditionings. He is sincere, but he is pushed. It's like, यही है ना. सही भक्त धन्य जेना छाड़े प्रभुर चरण, सही प्रभु धन्य जेना छाड़े नीचे. दुर्दैव सेवक यदि जाए अन्य स्थाने. Because sometimes he likes to serve the Lord, but he is also pushed by his material conditions. So that the Lord does not allow him to go away. So Prabhupada writes that the Lord favors such a devotee by snatching all that he may possess. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishyatad dhanam shanai. That's how. If such a foolish devotee tries to recoup his position, then merciful Lord again snatches away. एक बार छीन लिया, वापस चाहिए तो वापस छीन लेते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई एक बार छीन लिया तो हाँ भाई हो गया. No. So that is the example of Narad Muni. He had only one mother, बेचारी माँ, और माँ का एक बेटा. माँ बेचारे बच्चे का पूरा ध्यान रखना चाहती है. She is not able to do that. पक्का एकदम इमोशनल सीन है वो. And then एकदा she goes to milk the cow in the forest, duhantim nirgatam, and then she is bitten by the snake. Prabhupada writes, वहां पे एक अच्छा स्टेटमेंट लिखते हैं. क्या लिखते हैं? हाँ, वो परपोर्ट में अच्छा स्टेटमेंट लिखते हैं वो. That is a way to drag a sincere soul back to Godhead. तो एक बेचारी माँ है, उसको भी छीन लिए. Anybody will say, क्या कर रहे हैं भगवान? So, but Narad Muni also didn't, argue and he said, अभी तो chanting छोड़ दूंगा, अभी तो कुछ नहीं करूंगा. एक ही माँ, उसको भी ले लिया. तदा तदहमीशस्य भक्तानां शम अभिक्षितः अनुग्रहम मन्यमान प्रातिष्ठम दिशम उत्तराम. अनुग्रह समझ के सब छोड़ के चले गए. He went to the north. So that is the way to drag a sincere soul. And Prabhupada writes an nectar of instruction. Krishna consciousness is so wonderful that one is forcibly dragged to success. तो एक बार एंट्री की है तो प्योर डिवोटी बनना ही पड़ेगा, बना के ही छोड़ेंगे हम प्योर डिवोटी. भगवान नहीं बनाएंगे तो डिवोटी बना ही देंगे. So that's how it is. One is forcibly dragged to success. काउंसिल ही बना देंगे. So Prabhupada writes, therefore penance and devotional service of the Lord, either by voluntary submission or being forced by the Lord, is necessary. So मतलब भगवान आप नहीं करेंगे तो भगवान करवा के ही रहेंगे. एक बार घुस गए ना, अभी वो बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में, ओखली में सर दिया है तो मुसल से क्या डरना. अभी तो काला है, अभी घुसे हैं अंदर तो अभी पिटाई तो होने ही वाली. तो अदरवाइज शुद्ध कैसे होंगे अभी? We have to get purified. That's why we have come here for. So be ready for all the tapasya. फिर बाद में बोले अरे मेरे को तो पता ही नहीं था कि इतना पिटाने वाले. पहले तो बोले थे सुसुकम कर तुम अव्ययम और we will eat our way back to Godhead and chant Hare Krishna and be happy. काहे का हैप्पीनेस, इधर तो प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है. तो वो बोल नहीं सकते आप. You knew everything and नहीं भी पता चला तो अभी ये वन वे जर्नी है भाई, रिटर्न जा ही नहीं सकते आप. Krishna will not allow you to go back. Navai jano jatu kathanchana vrajen mukunda sevyanya vadanga samsritim smaranam mukundangri upaguhanam puna vihatumiche narasagraho jana. छोड़ के जाएंगे किधर? रसाग्रह. You will be haunted by the ghost of good experiences. जा ही नहीं सकते. That's how it is. One cannot, however, be engaged in penance of devotional service without being completely free from all the sins. Bhagavad Gita, which verse says this? Only a person who is completely free from the sins can engage in bhakti. कहाँ पे लिखा है? येषां तु अंतगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्व मोह निर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रता. So why Prabhupada is writing? Anagha. Prabhupada writes, the verse says, na, Anagha. You are sinless. Oh Brahma, you are sinless. Therefore, you could discharge this with such determination. Sinlessness is very important. So these four principles, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex life, they make one sinless. So after many years of practicing, these things, they are not so much of our concern. But after spending some years, we should be concerned about some more things. We should take a vow of not speaking wrong about or spreading rumors. Even if some devotee has something wrong, he has done something wrong, we should be very careful not to speak about it if it is not going to help that devotee. So that is the greatest challenge in devotee community, especially as you grow up in the ladder hierarchy. Faults of everyone practically. ये devotee ऐसे हैं, ये ऐसे हैं, ये सेवा ठीक से नहीं करते हैं. But that time we have to be really careful. It is a great challenge for the managers, to remain non-critical when it is not required. Otherwise, it is so very easy to criticize, because ना सबका चिट्ठा मालूम है आपको, ये ऐसा है वैसा है, ये ऐसे सेवा नहीं करते हैं, ये तो इधर गोलमाल करते हैं, भाग जाते हैं बीच में सेवा करते करते, ये दूसरों के साथ ऐसा बोलते हैं वैसा बोलते हैं. वेरी केयरफुल. अदरवाइज इंस्टीट्यूशनल सक्सेस तो हो जाएगा, पर्सनल नहीं होगा सक्सेस. That's how it is. Okay, next is a very, very interesting verse. सृजामि तपसा वेदम् ग्रसामि तपसा पुनः विभर्मि तपसा विश्वम् वीर्यं मे दुश्चरन् तपः.
I create this cosmos by self-penance. I maintain it by the same energy, and I withdraw it by the same energy. Therefore, the potential power is penance only. The physics का बहुत लग रहा है.
बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है. सृजामि तपसा वेदम, says by austerity I create. अब भगवान को क्या जरूरत है ऑस्टेरिटी करने का? सृजामि तपसा वेदम, ग्रसामि I destroy by tapasya, vibharmi I maintain by tapasya. This universe, idam vishwam, this universe I am creating, I am maintaining, I am destroying by my austerity. My viryam me dushcharan tapaha. The potential power is penance only. So what is the penance Lord is doing? क्या तपस्या कर रहे हैं भगवान?
He's lying in Karalakshay cushion.
तो क्या तपस्या है उसमें? तो सो रहे हैं ना आराम से.
इतना सोना भी मैं difficult है. नहीं, really, somebody sleep 8 hours ना.
तो हमारे जैसे नहीं सोते हैं, वो योग निद्रा है. हम सोते हैं तो we disturb other sleep by snoring. We don't do anything creative. The Lord, when he sleeps, he creates universes while sleeping. क्या तपस्या कर रहे हैं भगवान? Krishna Chakravarti Thakur writes, I am always the performer of austerity since I renounce material enjoyment. So, can you imagine, अगर आपको मालूम है कि यहाँ आपने ये मंदिर खड़ा किया है, वो खड़ा करो और सोएंगे ना, पूरा गया. नेक्स्ट डे दोबारा बनाना है. What will be the impetus to create? Or we may create, but not with all our, full, will not put full enthusiasm. ठीक है, बनाने के लिए बना देते हैं. Just like story है ना, one person was serving great Sheth. थोड़ा सेठ था, उसको बहुत सेवा किया. So after many years, so he had to retire. So he went to his master and said, so master said, एक लास्ट बस ये बिल्डिंग बना दो. तो बोला अरे यार कल ही रिटायरमेंट है, भैया बोल रहे हैं एक बिल्डिंग बनाओ. तो इसे ठीक है, अभी बनाने के लिए बोल रहे, तो उसने जैसे तैसे बना दिया. So then after that he said, okay, this building is over. तो 3 महीने लगने वाला था, वो 1 हफ्ते में बना दिया. तो master said, this is a gift for you, for your whole life of service. तो बोला पहले पता होता तो मैं अच्छे से बनाता था ना. अभी मालूम है अपना है ही नहीं, अभी कल ही डिस्ट्रॉय होने वाला है, या फिर अपना नहीं है तो बना लो जैसे तैसे. But Lord is making this world perfect. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते. ऐसा कुछ भी आज तक क्रिएशन नहीं किया कि वो सनलाइट का थोड़ा टेम्परेचर थोड़ा बढ़ाना रह गया. नहीं, everything is perfect. So it requires lots of detachment. This detachment is the austerity which the Lord is doing. Detached from the material creation, that's why he is able to do that. That is the biggest austerity. यस्यैक निश्वसित कालम अथावलंब्य जीवंति लोम विलजा जगन्ननाथ. इतना यूनिवर्स निकल रहे हैं और सब परफेक्ट है, और मालूम है ये सब अभी नेक्स्ट में नष्ट हो जाएगा. ब्रीथ इन एंड गॉन. तो क्या इम्पेटस है बनाने का भाई? Austerity of detachment. So that's how Prabhupada Chakravarti Thakur writes. I renounce material enjoyment. It indicates that from this detachment arises my ability to create and destroy. This detachment is the austerity which he is doing. Just imagine Krishna has given free will to everyone, and he knows that 99.9% of the living entities will misuse it. Still Krishna gives it. He doesn't take it away. So that is how he is detached. And then he keeps sending scriptures, he keeps sending his devotees, and he comes himself. Apani achari prabhu shikhai musabare. So that's how he is completely detached. So Lord was pleased with Brahma because he was doing his duty properly, not for sense gratification. Prabhupada writes, an easygoing life and attainment of perfection in transcendental self-realization cannot go together. So Prabhupada is focusing on this austerity. Lord is more clever than any living entity. Therefore, he wants to see how painstaking the devotee is in devotional service. आप भगवान को बुद्धू नहीं बना सकते हैं, भगवान सबसे ज्यादा उस्ताद हैं. He is क्या वो भगवत गीता में चीटर एंड द बेस्ट ऑफ द चीट्स, क्या बोलते हैं उसमें? हाँ, क्या बोलते हैं उसमें श्लोक क्या? Anyways, so that's how you cannot cheat the Lord. हाँ, छलम नहीं, भूल गया मैं, श्लोक भूल गया. Okay. So Lord likes to see that the devotees are really struggling hard and taking all the pains. There are no shortcuts in Krishna consciousness. कुछ भी सस्ते में नहीं मिलेगा यहाँ पे. You have to really work hard. मतलब कविराज गोस्वामी को भी 94 साल में भी बोल रहे हैं, लिखो भाई, आमी वृद्ध जरातुर लिखिते कापय कर मने किच्छु स्मरण न होए, ना देखिए नयने ना सुनिए श्रवणे तबु लिखिए बड़ा विस्मय. वृद्ध हो गए हैं, दिख नहीं रहा है, सुन नहीं रहा है. दिख नहीं रहा है, सुन नहीं रहा है तो इतना लिख दिए, बताओ. याद नहीं रहा है तो इतना लिखे. सो ही डिडंट से, कविराज गोस्वामी अभी तो बूढ़े हो गए ना, किसी को दे दो ना सेवा. नाना रोग ग्रस्त चलिते वसिते न पारी, पंच रोग पीड़ा व्याकुल रात्रि दिने मरी. He is not even sure whether he will die day or night. कभी भी मर सकते हैं. Still he is doing that seva. That pleases the Lord. Just like माधवेंद्रपुरी, अभी चंदन चल रहा है. 3 बार भगवान सपने में आए, हर बार इंस्ट्रक्शन दिए हैं. और ऐसा छोटा मोटा नहीं, कल जाके बाजार से लेके आना चंदन मेरे लिए. You go to Malaya and get चंदन for me. 3 बार इंस्ट्रक्शन दिए हैं. बहु परिश्रम करी चंदन रेमुना अनिला, आनंद बाड़ीला मने दुख ना गणिला. दुख नहीं गिने हैं. 2 दिन नहीं सोया हूं, 2 घंटा कम सोया हूं. हम लोग गिन के रखते हैं ना, कल का 2 घंटा का नींद बाकी है, परसों भी कम सोया, पूरा कॉम्पेंसेट करूंगा मैं. He didn't count his miseries. बहु परिश्रम करी चंदन रेमुना अनिला. और वहां से मलय से जगन्नाथपुरी से रेमुना में आया, तो फिर से भगवान बोल रहे हैं इधर ही इनको ही गोपीनाथ जी को ही दे दो. बोले ले. तो पहले बोल देते यार उधर ही आप देख लो ना, जगन्नाथ जी को चढ़ रहे हैं ना, संतुष्ट हो जाओ. So that's how it is. So Lord is eager to see how the devotee is really working hard. And he shows that through his best devotees. क्योंकि बाकियों को भगवान, Lord loves everyone, he trusts a few. And उनको ही खाली ऐसा सेवा देते हैं. नहीं तो बाकी लोग बोलेंगे लीजिए फीडबैक, मैं जा रहा हूं, थैंक यू वेरी मच, हरे कृष्णा. So he gives all these things only to his trusted people. इसलिए माधवेंद्रपुरी को दिए हैं. अभी श्रीनिवास आचार्य को भागवत पढ़ना था. So then कितना लंबा रूट पकड़ के then उनको भागवतम कॉपी was not available. बताइए, पहले चैतन्य महाप्रभु से सुनना चाहते थे, ही लेफ्ट. then नित्यानंद प्रभु बोले नहीं जाओ अभी गदाधर पंडित के पास. तो गदाधर पंडित नहीं गए. पहले बोले आई एम क्राइंग होल डे, वो भागवतम का कॉपी सब पूरा इंक चला गया है, रो के. भागवतम लेके आओगे तो पढ़ाऊंगा मैं. उस टाइम तो ऑनलाइन और नहीं था अवेलेबल. तो गए वापस, ही वेंट टू नवदीप, ही फाउंड वन पर्सन, टुक 1 year टू कॉपी इट, अगेन केम बैक एंड ही रियलाइज्ड गदाधर पंडित आल्सो लेफ्ट. अभी बोले जाओ, महाप्रभु केम इन द ड्रीम, जाओ वृंदावन जा, वहां पे रूप गोस्वामी से सुन लो. ही वॉक्ड ऑल द वे, और बॉर्डर पे पहुंचे तो सम पीपल आर कमिंग आउट क्राइंग. क्या हो गया? यू डिडंट नो रूप गोस्वामी लेफ्ट, फेंटेड. फिर रूप गोस्वामी केम, डोंट वरी, इन द ड्रीम ही सेड यू गो टू जीव गोस्वामी. इतना मेहनत करके तो अभी सीख रहे हैं भागवतम. So Prabhupada writes that. So that is our परंपरा is. अपने परंपरा में कोई भी आचार्य ऐसा हरि बोल, ये भगवत गीता पढ़े, भागवत पढ़े, 64 माला किए, भगवत धाम चले गए, हरि बोल, ऐसा नहीं है. Every आचार्य has done such intense hard work. इतना मेहनत किए. विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर, बलदेव विद्याभूषण, श्रीनिवास आचार्य, जितने किसी को भी ले लीजिए, तो हमको तो इतना सब कुछ करने के लिए बोल नहीं रहे. So that's how we have to really do our best. The order is received from the Lord, either directly or through spiritual master. And to execute that order, however painstaking, is the severe type of penance. One who follows the principle rigidly is sure to achieve success in attaining the Lord's mercy. Rigidly we have to follow. Otherwise, itna aasan nahi hai. Matlab, as Prabhupada would say, sometimes he said one time, most of my disciples, they'll go up to heaven. So that's how devotional service is not so easy. Perfection in the path is not so easy. So we have to strive, give our best. तो ट्राई तो करना है ना. अभी ट्राई भी नहीं करेंगे तो फिर कैसे होगा. सो ये अभी नए लोगों को तो नहीं बोल सकते कि सब लोग अभी हेवन तक ही जाने वाले हैं, लेकिन अभी हम लोग तो समझ गए, इतने 10, 20, 30 साल से कर रहे हैं. सो वी हैव टू बी रियली वर्किंग हार्ड. Yeah.
One who follows the principle rigidly. What is the meaning of this?
विद्वत समा क्या बोलती है? All of you can contribute.
We have lost our ingenuity.
Yes, rigid means क्या होता है? Online devotees of
Rigid means strict. Strict. No ifs and buts. No plus minus.
Rigidly करना है तो करना ही है.
No tolerance.
Sometimes flexible, whenever when I was I just joined, temple, I got a chance to serve one very senior sannyasi. So he had lots of health issues. I was serving him, he was in Bhakti Vedanta hospital. So then he was telling me, abhi kitna saal ho gaya? How long you have joined? So I said, just 2 years I have joined now. So Maharaj said, please take care of your health properly. Health is very important. I hear this many times from many devotees. Sab log yahi bolte hain, but in their life, they have done all the hard work. So that is the principle everybody should follow. When it comes to oneself, one should be really strict with one's own self. When it comes to others, we should be lenient. उनको बोलना चाहिए भाई ध्यान रखो. But that person should also see the life of this person. बोल तो रहे हैं, लेकिन इन्होंने क्या मेहनत किया है, तब जाके ये इतना realization से बोल रहे हैं. So hard work, there is no substitute to hard work. थोड़ा body को कष्ट देना ही पड़ेगा, मेहनत तो करना ही पड़ेगा. Prabhupada, how much he tolerated, how much he worked hard. So rigid, करना है तो करना ही है.
Rigidly means sometimes like prashadam, because they say very clearly, like even to take prashadam with us is sometimes it's for the business. So like sometimes it is really confusing. Like we are really rigidly following and.
Rigid means when it comes to practicing the basic principles of sadhana bhakti, our sadhana, our swadhyay, seva, sadachar, these are very important. And how much one should be strict while eating, that is a very subjective question. That nobody should tell to others. Bahar khane ka hi nahi, Govindas mein bhi nahi khane ka. Because everybody's situation is different. As a person staying in ashram, I can afford that. मैं बोल दूंगा कि मेरे को ना 16 माला वाला जब तक बना के नहीं देगा तब तक खाऊंगा नहीं मैं. So maybe I can get if I am such a senior devotee. But while traveling, I may also not get. So उस समय, if you are really strict, नहीं मैं तो खाऊंगा ही नहीं, that is up to you. Nobody should say, nobody should judge others because ये गोविंदास में खा रहे हैं, ये तो उनके यहाँ गए और वो 16 माला भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, उनके यहाँ प्रसाद भी ले रहे हैं, खा क्या है. चैतन्य चरितामृत में, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he transformed all these Prakashanand Pandita and 60,000 sannyasis, Mahaprabhu ate there. They had just become devotees. Prabhupada writes in the purport, that's how sometimes a preacher should be flexible. For preaching, one should be flexible. किसी के यहाँ जा रहे हैं और वो अभी डिवोटी बन रहा है, फेवरेबल है, और वो उनको, मैं तो खाऊंगा ही नहीं। मला करते क्या? 16 मला नहीं करते? अरे नहीं खाएंगे। फॉर द सेक ऑफ प्रीचिंग some compromise is required, and Krishna protects that devotee because you are not doing it for enjoyment. लेकिन यार वो वाला दुकान में ना विदाउट कांदा लहसुन वाला बनाता है, अच्छा इडली डोसा बनाता है, अपने लिए कर रहे हैं, मतलब उसमें कोई प्रोटेक्शन नहीं है अभी। So we have to be really careful of why we are doing it. So everything in Krishna consciousness boils down to why. क्यों कर रहे हैं? खुद के लिए कर रहे हैं क्या? खुद के लिए कर रहे हैं, then you are on your own. If you are doing it for preaching, then Prabhupada का story है ना, Prabhupada went to in Delhi, one lady arranged a big pandal program, and it was a very successful pandal program. So this, actually before that, one lady invited Prabhupada, and she was a life member, just favorable. So when Prabhupada को बुलाया, तो Prabhupada and all the devotees, they went, and she knew that they are vegetarian खाते हैं, but she was not told कि कांदा लहसुन नहीं खाते. So she cooked nicely, big feast was cooked, and Prabhupada was eating. So one devotee said, Prabhupada, there is onion in that. Prabhupada said, keep quiet and eat. You didn't tell her first. And then this lady sponsored the whole pandal program then. So that's how we have to be really careful. मतलब कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस ऐसा, ये rigid जो है personal application के लिए है. When it comes to dealing with people, we should be flexible with them. Otherwise, you'll break them. They will never come to Krishna consciousness. So for that, we have to be really mature enough. What are the details? What are the principles?
Okay.
So details can be changed. Principles should never be compromised. One time Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, how to understand what is a detail, what is a principle? Prabhupada said, it requires little intelligence. थोड़ा बुद्धि लगता है उसके लिए. That's how it is. Okay. So after Lord glorified him, now Brahmaji, he starts speaking something, and he speaks 4 questions. He asks 4 things. Brahma Vacha Bhagwan Sarva Bhutanam Adhyaksho Asthito Guham Vedahiya Pratibuddhena Pragyani Irshitam.
The first said, O personality of God, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence, without any hindrance whatsoever.
O Bhagavan, O Supreme Lord, Sarva Bhutanam Adhyakshaha. You are the controller of all beings. Avasthito Guham. You are situated in everyone's heart. Vedahi. You know all the chikiyushitam, you know the desires of each and every one. Because you have apratiruddha pragya. Because you have unimpaired intelligence. You have superior intelligence, which is not hindered by anyone. Apratiruddha. Pratiruddha nahi hota hai. So that's how. So he is now glorifying the Lord, that you never forget. So Lord never forgets कि ये devotee this did seva, and इसको भी कृपा करना था, अरे भूल गया इसको कृपा करना, and वो पढ़ा है, just like पिछले समय में till the time guru doesn't call the disciple for food, नहीं बुलाएगा तो fasting ले हो गया फिर. So Lord never does that. Lord never forgets कि अरे ये devotee इतना तपस्या कर रहा है, इसको भूल गया, मैं देखा नहीं, अरे. He is always aware of everything. माद्रिक प्रपन्न पशुपाश विमोक्षनाय मुक्ताय भूरि करुणाय नमोलयाय स्वांशेन सर्वतनुभृन्मनसि प्रतीता प्रत्यग्दृशे भगवते बृहते नमस्ते. Gajendra is praying, Oh my Lord, I am bound in this pashupash. You are mukta. You are liberated. Please free me. Lord may say, why I should feel? Why I should liberate you? Aaj mood nahi hai. You are bhuri karunaya. You are merciful. So what? अभी मैं थोड़ा सा रिलैक्स करने के मूड में. No, you are alayaya. You are never lazy. So that's how Lord is never lazy. He is never forgetful. So Prabhupada writes in the purport about the same thing. Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the witness. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridadeshe. So the Lord, the director is not the enjoyer of the fruits. For without the Lord's sanction, no one can enjoy. In a prohibited area, a habituated drunkard puts forward his application to the director of drinking. And the director sanctions only a certain amount of liquor for drinking. Similarly, the whole world is full of drunkards, in the sense that every living entity has something in the mind to enjoy. So the Lord, they file an application, humko enjoy karna hai. So Lord sanctions according to their karma. So then Prabhupada writes in the next paragraph that impersonalists recommend that one should become desireless. But that is not possible. We cannot become desireless. What is the perfection of desire? To please the Supreme Lord. That is the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita. So that's how Brahmaji agrees to this proposal, and therefore he is given the responsible post of creating generations. Okay, next verse. Tathapi nathamanasya nathanathaya nathitam paravare yatharupe janiyam te tvarupinaha.
In spite of that, my Lord, I'm praying to you, kindly fulfill my desire. May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you have no such form at all.
So this is the first question he is asking. The first Chatushloki. So the answer for first Chatushloki will be the answer to this question. Please tell me about your material and spiritual form. O Nath, O Master, Tathapi, although you know my desire. Abhi bole na, you know the desire of everyone. So then he says, you know my desire, but still I am asking you, please Nathaya. Nathaya means, please bestow as I have desired. Nathitam. O Nath, Nathaya, Nathitam. So please bestow whatever desire I have. Nathamanasya, I am requesting you. So what do I want? Janiyam, I can understand. Para avara rupe. Pararupa and avara rupa. Pararupa means spiritual form. Avara means material form. Although you are arupinaha, you have no material form. Your form is transcendental. So please tell me what is your material form and spiritual form. Next verse. Yathatma maya yogena nana shakti upabrimhitam vilumpan visrajan grihanan vipradatmanamatmana.
How you, by your own self, manifest different energies for immediation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance, and presentations.
Yatha atma yogena. So, okay, we'll take the next verse and then we'll discuss together. Because 27-28, he's asking the next question. Kridasya moga sankalpa purnanabhiryathournute tatha tad vishayam dhehi manisham mayi madhava.
O Master of all energies, please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers itself by its own energy, and your determination is infallible.
So, okay, so now in this two verses, he is asking two questions. So first, he is saying, what is the role of Mahamaya and Yogamaya? That is second question. And third question is, how do you interact with Yogamaya and Mahamaya? So that is the third question. So he is saying, O Amogha Sankalpa, So in 28th verse he says, Amoga Sankalpa, O master of, you have, your determination is infallible, O Madhava, you Vilumpan, Visrijan and Bibhran. You create, you maintain and you destroy this material world, Atmanam, which is composed of various energies, Nana Shakti Upabrimhitam. So this material world, which is made up of various energies, you create, maintain and destroy by your material energy. Atma Yogena, 27th first line. Atma Yogena. Atma Maya Yogena. So you create this material world by your material energy. You create, maintain and destroy by material energy. And then he says, Grihnan. Vilumpan Visrijan Grihnan. So you are creating, maintaining and destroying this material energy, material world, and at the same time, Atmana Grihnan. So this one verse, same words have two meanings. How he maintains his material world and how he maintains his spiritual world. So there are two meanings, so they are both combined. So in this same verse, he is asking two questions. Mahamaya, about Mahamaya, and about Yogamaya. So he's saying, by your material energy, you maintain material world. And by your spiritual energy, you maintain spiritual world. So how do you do that? How do you interact with these two energies? Please tell me. So that's how he is describing. And he says, you are like Urnanabhi. Where this has come previously, Urnanabhi. Who says? Narad Muni is telling to Brahmaji, you are like Urnanabhi. You create, maintain, destroy on your own. You are like a self-sustained personality. It's like spider creates the web, maintains and destroys it by his own saliva. He is doing it, not taking effort from anyone, help from anyone. So therefore, please tell me, Mai Manisham Dehi. The last word is Manisham Dehi. Please give me the intelligence to understand how this is working. So that's how it is. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Atma Maya Yogena means by your material energy, external energy, and by your Yoga Maya potency. So Atma Maya Yogena, the one word used, Yatha Atma Maya Yogena. So Atma Maya means material energy also and spiritual energy also. Mahamaya and Yoga Maya. So please tell me about these two energies. By external energy you create, destroy this world. And you are situated in your spiritual, your Swarupa also. How are you doing that? And with your Yoga Maya, you are maintaining the spiritual world. How are you doing that? How do you deal with all these energies? Please tell me in detail. Then, Prabhupada writes about this. By the inconceivable energy of the Lord, every creative element has its own potency, known as potency of the element, potency of the knowledge, and potency of different actions and reactions. क्या लिख रहे हैं Prabhupada? Anyone knows? Potency of the element. What is that? वो हमने creation में पढ़ा है. In the due course, 3 types of Shaktis are formed. Dravya Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. So potency of the element is which Shakti? Dravya. Potency of knowledge? Jnana. Potency of different actions and reactions? Kriya. So that's how the Lord is doing all this. And then Prabhupada explains that about spider and spider web. So then next verse he says, Bhagavad Shikshitam Maham Karvani hi atandritaha Nehamana Prajasaragam Badhyayam Yadanugrahat
Is there? Please tell me so that I may be taught the matter by the instruction of the personality of Godhead, and may thus act instrumentally to generate living entities without being conditioned by such activities.
So now in 29th verse, he is asking the fourth question: how to protect myself from pride and passion? So he's saying, atandritaha. The word used is karmanihi atandritaha. Atandritaha means without, me instrumental. He said, Prabhupada writes instrumental, or without lethargy. Chakravarti Thakur writes, without lethargy. Atandritaha. Without lethargy, may I carry out. Aham karvani. May I carry out the instructions which are given by you, Bhagavat Sikshitam. Whatever instructions you have given me, how may I carry out without lethargy? Because only by your mercy it is possible. Yad anugrahat. Only by your mercy it will be possible. And na badhyayam. I will not be bound by pride. Na badhyayam. Ihamana prajasargam. When I am doing this creation, I will not be proud. So that is the inner meaning of this. So that's what Chakravarti Thakur also writes. So Prabhupada writes that I may be taught in the matter of instruction, in the taught matter by the instruction of the Supreme Lord, and may thus act instrumentally. That means I should not be proud. I may not be carried away by passion and ignorance. So that is there are two dangers in the path of a spiritualist. When he has become successful, success leads to pride. And failure leads to neglect, leads to failure and bondage. So if somebody is successfully doing something, he may be proud of it. And if he is neglectful, then he may be bound by material anarthas. So that's how he's saying, please protect me from this pride and lethargy. So that's how it is.
Lethargy comes due to what? Pride comes because of success.
Yeah.
Lethargy comes due to neglect.
Yes. If you are neglectful of doing your duties properly with a very, very conscious way, then you become relaxed, complacency, and then you become lethargic. Then one falls down. So that's how it is. Then Prabhupada in the purport, he describes about this Maya of the Lord. A conditioned soul is instrumental in the hands of Gunmayi Maya. The liberated soul is instrumental to the will of the Lord directly. To be instrumental to the direct will of the Lord is natural constitutional position. So that's how a conditioned soul is under the will of the Lord. And then Prabhupada writes that in unconditioned state, the living entity acts as per the instructions and directions of the Lord. Tesham satate yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami yogam. Pure devotees are not proud of their progress because they know that whatever I have is given by the Lord. Anywhere this has come, a devotee, he is acknowledging that whatever you have given me, whatever I have achieved, this is by the mercy of the Lord. हमने पढ़ा first canto में. Whatever I could get, whatever I could do, it was by the mercy of Krishna. Arjuna is telling, after Krishna left this world, he is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, whatever I could do, it was by the mercy of the Lord. Now I have become, I could not even protect the wives of Krishna. Because Krishna has taken away all the strength. Okay, then he says that you have treated me like friend. यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं यावत सखा सख्यूर इवेशते कृता. Somebody can read the translation.
O my Lord, the unborn, you have shaken hands with me just as a friend does with a friend, as if equal in position. I shall be engaged in the creation of different types of living entities. and I shall be occupied in your service. I shall have no perturbation, but I pray that all this may not give rise to pride as if I will understand you.
So he's asking, I should not become proud because you have treated me as friend. भगवान बोलेंगे यार तुम मेरा friend जैसा है. So anybody will become proud, right? भगवान बोल रहे हैं तो it is हो सकता है ना, भगवान झूठ क्यों बोलेंगे? But Lord, in the case of four Kumaras, when they enter Vaikuntha, so and there was a debate and then cursing happens and then Lord comes out and what he says to Kumaras, क्या बोलते हैं सबसे पहले? बोलते हैं, these people, they are my people and because they have committed some sin, I have committed. So this is my, I have offended you. So please forgive them and please give them some concessions so that they should come back immediately. And he says that, whatever power I have, I get the power because I take the dust of devotees and brahmanas on my head. तो बोलेंगे अभी क्या है, अभी all the four Kumaras, they are confused, ये हमको झाप रहे हैं कि मतलब proper अच्छा discussion है. आज भी नंदुलाल प्रो gave a Bhagavatam class in temple and he was quoting this wonderful pastime. So really it is amazing thing and Chakravarti Thakur gives the details of सच में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं वो सनत कुमार ऑफ ऑल द कुमारस. मतलब ये क्या चल रहा है, ये हमको डांटना है तो सीधा सीधा डांटो तो समझता है, मतलब ये ग्लोरीफाई कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं. सो ही इज सेइंग यत् सेवया चरण पद्म पवित्र रेणुम सद्या सताखिलमलम प्रतिलब्ध शीलाम न श्री विरक्तिमपि मां विजहाति यस्य प्रेक्षालवार्थ इतरे नियमान वहन्ति. यत् सेवया, इनकी चरण कमलों की सेवा करके मैं इतना शक्तिशाली हो गया हूं. I have become so powerful, my dust, the dust of my feet can destroy all the sins. Why, because I take the dust of brahmanas on my head. And he is saying, Lakshmi Devi bagal mein khadi hai. And he is saying, I don't care for Lakshmi. And she is not giving me up. Still she is serving me. You know why? Because I am taking dust of brahmanas on my head. So Sanat Kumar and all the four Kumaras, they say that, oh my Lord, ये ज़्यादा हो गया. Okay, it is, how is this possible? You know why you are saying that? Because we have cursed these two people and you have all the power to counteract the curse. But still you are not doing it just to maintain our position. नहीं तो आगे चल के बोलेंगे ब्राह्मणों का तो कुछ चलता ही नहीं. Just to protect our value, you are accepting it. Otherwise, you don't have to take dust off our feet. So it is not right. So इसलिए वैसे ही बोल रहे हैं अभी, you have treated me as friend. That does not mean that I am actually your friend. It is your glory. So therefore, please give mercy so that I should not become proud of it.
तो एक क्वेश्चन है in Bhagavad Gita, can I ask you? In 11:45, Arjuna has seen the Virat room, and he was very happy. My friend has gone, but at the same time, when
he was not happy. He was fearful.
No. First he said, "I'm happy," but now he said, "I'm glad." The Prabhupada written the asking. But now I'm fearful. Why I'm fearful? Because when I was treating you as my friend, and I offended you many times by showing so much of equality, and you are a god. So he's fearful. So what is this Arjuna's mind is thinking? Like he is a devotee of the Lord, he's a friend, he is happy also, now he has become fearful also. So how that's
where Prabhupada writes, that this example will come in the one of the Chatushloki. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes that is the difference between the residents of Goloka. They are never affected by the awe and reverence. But the Mathura Vasis, they get affected. Dwarka Vasis, Hastinapur Vasis, they get affected.
Okay.
So Arjuna, he was thinking, Hey Krishna, Hey Madhav, Hey Saketi, Ajanata, Mahimanam Tavedam, Maya Pramadat, Pranayena Vapi, जो भी गलती से बोल दिया माफ कर दो, मुझे मालूम नहीं था कि आप इतने बड़े हैं.
That was the feeling in his
So that's how ये चलता ही नहीं है उधर, ब्रज में नहीं चलता है. ब्रज में नंद महाराज को सब लोग आके बोलते मे बी कृष्ण इज सुप्रीम गॉड. व्हाट टाइप ऑफ गॉड इज? वो बिजली कड़कती है तो ही कम्स एंड हाइड्स बिहाइंड द साड़ी ऑफ यशोदा में. What type? And absolute truth speaks false. He keeps lying. What type of God is? So मतलब ब्रह्मांड दर्शन भी करा दिया यशोदा के मुख में, अपने मुख में यशोदा को, and यशोदा is really perplexed, and she is really thinking that wow, maybe he is a supreme lord. हम ममासौ पतिरेषु मे सुतो ब्रजेश्वरस्या किल गोपिका पति गोप्यश्च गोप्या सगो धनश्च मे Yanmayapta kumati samegati. Oh, my mind was, bewildered. I was thinking I am Brajeshwari and all these people are serving me. Now I realize that I am insignificant living entity and he is the Supreme Lord. तो भगवान बोले तो उल्टा ही हो गया भाई. मैं तो ऐसे ही मजाक कर रहा था, ये तो seriously ले लिए. So that's how. And then when he closes the mouth, she forgets everything. And again she deals with gopis. They know Krishna is Supreme Lord. In one of the verses they speak na Gopi Geet mein kya bolte hain wo, because Brahma ji prayed, that's why you have come, and you are the Paramatma in everyone's heart. So you are the same. So they know that he is the Supreme Lord. फिर भी बोलते हैं कोई बात नहीं, हमको इनके साथ तो रास लीला ही करना है. We want to serve them in a conjugal way. That is the difference between all the other gopis and Goloka Vasis. So they never get affected. Aishwarya, their Aishwarya bhav, they never get covered by Aishwarya. So Prabhupada in the purport, he describes how Brahmaji, he is eternally related with the Lord in the transcendental humor of friendship. And although entrusted with the most exalted post of creating different grades of living entities, he is still conscious of his position. Our Lord has given so much of respect, but still he doesn't forget that I am servant of the Lord. So that's how a devotee should be very, very careful. The senior devotees, they may treat us as friends, as equals, but that should not make us forget our position. Sometimes it happens, right?
Correct.
सीनियर डिवोटी हमको ऐसा हंसी मजाक कर रहे हैं तो इट हैपेंस मेनी टाइम्स. तो मैंने तो बहुत एक्सपीरियंस किया है. सो इन ड्यू कोर्स वी फील फैमिलियर, ठीक है, हम लोग भी थोड़ा मजाक कर लेते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव टू बी रियली केयरफुल. The pure devotee knows that this power is vibhuti delegated by the Lord, and such a delegated powerful living entity is never independent. Hanumanji, he crossed the Lanka, across the ocean. Ramchandra could not do. So Hanuman ji ये नहीं बोले देखो रामचंद्र नहीं कर पाए, मैं जाके आया हूं. No, he was given power by the Lord. So that's how Brahmaji is praying that please, oh my Lord, show mercy. And Prabhupada writes, actually people, when they become powerful, the extent, the ultimate last snare of Maya is, they think, I have become God. Okay, so now after this, Brahmaji has asked 4 questions. So then Supreme Lord, he starts speaking. He speaks 7 verses. And 31st and 32nd, they form the prelude to the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. And 32, 33, 34, 36. Sorry, 33, 34, 35, 36. They are Chatushloki. And then 37th, Lord is telling how to apply this Chatushloki in life. That is the conclusion. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Jnanam Param Guhyam Me Yad Vijnana Samanvitam Sarasyam Tadangam Cha Prana Gaditam Maya.
The personality of Godhead said, knowledge about me as described in the scriptures is very confidential. and it has to be realized in conjunction with devotional service. The necessary paraphernalia for that process is being explained by me. You may take it up carefully.
Okay, so Grihana. Oh Brahma ji, now please take it very carefully. Please understand what? Jnanam Paramaguhyam, this most secret knowledge given in the scriptures. It is Paramaguhyam, it is very confidential. And Vijnana Samanvitam, and it has to be realized in conjunction with devotional service. Sarhasyam, it is a very secret knowledge. Sarhasyam. So Prabhupada writes, Sarhasya means devotional service. Tadangam cha, and the necessary paraphernalia. Gaditam maya, whatever I speak. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, what is this which Lord is telling? What he is going to tell? He says, Sarhasya means prema bhakti. And Tadangam means sadhana bhakti. So he is saying, I will reveal to you my most confidential form and realization of that form. And along with that, I'll give you prema bhakti and a sadhana bhakti also. I'll teach you all that. So that's how you will know everything. So this is a prelude to the answers of Chatushloki, of the Brahmaji's question. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, I'll speak to you the most secret knowledge, and I will also explain by my mercy about sadhana bhakti. Although you did not ask for it. नहीं पूछे, फिर भी मैं बताऊंगा वो. So therefore, I'll explain three things. I'll explain you about my form. I'll explain you about prema bhakti. And I'll explain sadhana bhakti also. So these are the three things which I am going to explain. So Brahmaji has asked 4 questions. 26th verse, he has asked about the material and spiritual forms. 27th, he asked about Yogamaya and Mahamaya. 28th, he asked how he deals with Yogamaya and Mahamaya. 29th, he asked for the instructions for attaining his desired goal. How should I be free from pride? So the Lord is saying, I'll explain all these things so that materialistic people will not be able to understand. It is confidential knowledge which I am going to give you. I'll mention sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti also. Yavanatham yatha bhavo. Okay, I'll just take the purport. So Prabhupada writes in the purport also. Brahmaji asks 4 questions. And the prelude to the answers is this verse under this discussion. So this is the prelude. So Lord is creating a background. So in this verse, Lord informs Brahma that knowledge of him is very subtle as revealed in the scriptures. It is paramaguhyam and cannot be understood unless one is self-realized by the grace of the Lord. Only when Lord shows mercy, then somebody can understand him. This means that transcendental knowledge of the Lord can be known if it is made known by the Lord himself. If Lord desires, then you can know him. Otherwise, you cannot barge into the kingdom of the God. You cannot just think, I will understand Bhagavatam on my own. Even if you memorize all the purports and all the shlokas, still we may not be able to understand. Because it is, you cannot conquer Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam should be read not in the mood of conquest, but in the mood of request. You have to request the Lord, please show mercy, please reveal your form so that I can understand. So by strength of mental speculation, nobody can understand. People are trying since millions of lifetimes. Panthas to koti shatavatsara sampragamyo. Vayo rathapi manaso. Prapada, they are not seeing the tip of the toe. So that's how this knowledge is given. Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita, out of hundreds and thousands, only one may know. Therefore, it is rahasyam, very secret. And then Prabhupada writes that one cannot understand the Lord unless one becomes devotee and discharges devotional service. So what is that devotional service? Prema Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti. There are two limbs, two parts. So Sadhana Bhakti kya hai? Vidhi Bhakti hai wo. So Vidhi Bhakti, Prabhupada writes, what is Vaidhi Bhakti? Sadhana Bhakti ka definition kya hai? What is the definition of Sadhana Bhakti?
Doing work under the instruction of Acharya scriptures.
Engaging your senses in the service of the Lord, following the instructions of the Acharyas and the scriptures. Kriti sadhya, bhavet sadhya, bhavasa sadhana vidha, nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam ridhi sadhyata. Nitya siddha bhav prakat ho jayega if you practice this. So Prabhupada writes that. And then he quotes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 5 main principles. What are they? 5 limbs of devotional service. Panchang Bhakti kya hai? Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravan, and Mathuravas Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. Okay, next verse. Yavanaham yatha bhavo yad rupa guna karmakaha tathaiva tattva vijnanam astu me madanugrahat.
All of me, namely my actual element, eternal form, and my transcendental existence, color, qualities, and activities, let all be awakened within you by factual realization out of my causeless mercy.
By my mercy, Madanugrahat, may you attain this perfect realization, Tattva Vijnana. So this Tattva Vijnana may you attain by my mercy, and whatever Yavan Aham Yatha Bhava, whatever form, whatever intentions, whatever qualities, whatever activities I'll do, you will know everything. That means Lord is saying, in your tenure, wherever I'll incarnate, you will know everything about it. But Lord bewilders Brahma ji also. Brahma Vimohan Leela mein. Brahma ji to jante hain, Bhagwan diye hain. He has given all the blessings that you will know everything, but still, Brahma ji gets bewildered. So that's how it is. So Brahma ji, Lord is telling Brahma that you will know everything about my appearance and the pastimes. And Prabhupada writes in the purport how only by the mercy of the Lord one can know the Lord. Otherwise, Lord does not reveal himself. He maintains the right of not exposing himself to faithless people. Where it is said, Lord maintains the rights of not exposing himself to Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. That's what Prabhupada writes there. Only by the mercy of the Lord one can know me, one can know him. नहीं वो बार बार हम याद दिलाते रहेंगे आप लोगों को, इसलिए मैं भी याद नहीं इसलिए मैं भी बोलता रहता हूँ, मेरे को याद रहे. So Prabhupada again writes that people with poor fund of knowledge, they cannot know him. And then Prabhupada writes about the transcendental form. Prabhupada writes that Lord has transcendental form, which is Satchidananda, and he appears in many ages in various colors. Sometimes he appears in red, white, yellow, black. What is the red form of the Lord? Anything there? I don't know. Somebody asked me. White तो मालूम है हमसा अवतार. शुक्ल रक्त तथा पीत आसरण वर्ण त्रयोयस्य त्रिगुणो अनुवर्णित शुक्ल रक्त तथा पीत इदानीं कृष्णतां गतः. Gargmuni is telling, your son appears in many colors in many ages. Shukla, Rakta, Pita. Pita is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Now he has appeared in blackish complexion. So red Pathan. Sometimes appears in all the various incarnations, fish, tortoise, Prabhupada writes. So Lord appears in many incarnations and does many pastimes, Govardhan Leela and all the other things. So Lord told, you will know everything about my pastimes. So then, now Brahmaji, Lord starts giving the answers. So the first question was the Lord's material and spiritual form. I'll just speak few things and then we'll stop. I'll not start this. So Bhagavatam, so Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Kaviraj Goswami is describing as Sanatan Siksha part. Bhagavatera Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan Chatushloke Prakata Tare Koryache Lakshan. So what is this Chatushloki Bhagavatam? Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojan. So 33 and 34 verses, they talk about Sambandha Gyan. 36th verse talks about Abhidheya. And 35th verse talks about Prayojan. Okay.
In terms of energy,
वो भी आएगा. सब मतलब है 30. So 33rd verse. So Lord told, I'll tell you about Jnana, Jnanam and Vijnana. So Jnana is in 33. Vijnana is in 34. Tadangam, Sadhan Bhakti is in 35. And Sarahasyam, Prema Bhakti is in 36. So that is the progression of this Chatushloki Bhagavatam. That's what Lord said, na? Jnanam param guhyam me yad vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tadangam. So sarahasyam means prema bhakti. That he'll tell in 36th verse. Tadangam means sadhana bhakti. That he'll tell in 35th verse. And Vijnan he'll tell in 34 and Gyan in 33. So that's how he will describe. So very detailed technical description is given by Chakravarti Thakur. So that we'll discuss next time. And I have put a PDF. I thought I'll cover today only. मैंने group पे डाल दिया है. Presentation of Balram Shakti Pro, where he has given nicely word to word meaning of all these things. So his presentation नहीं है. So I have put that. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much.
next time का exact
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Jalandhar mein pranam.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
There could be like Parama, red palm, red vara, and we don't have vara also that. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai.
Two forms. Rakta vara and Shweta vara.